welcome to Crows Live. Thank you so much for joining us, whether you're here in the room or streaming on the website. It is so great to have your company. Now, as you've just seen, the Crows have come from behind to run out 5-point winners over the Brisbane Lions. I will be joined shortly by club legend Mark Bickley, but for now we're going to head straight down to the rooms with one of the stars of the show, Jake Celiggo. Jake, chat to us about that performance. There are some very good vibes up here in the McGarry room. What does it mean to get that win over Brisbane?
Yeah, it's very exciting. There's good vibes down here as well. Very, very excited we got the win. It was definitely a massive learning because last year we're letting that one go. But yeah, it's a massive learning over the pre-season. We've worked on those modes and yeah, we're just happy to get the win tonight.
What have you worked on to be able to get over them? Those tough contests, your work rate out there was exceptional. What do you think the little changes have been?
We talk about moments, owning the moment. I thought we had the backs in the last quarter were absolutely elite, I thought. Dawes stepped up the skip. He had some amazing moments, a great mark and a great finish. So I think, yeah, those things definitely add up and got us the win tonight.
Tell us how tough it was up there. From the get-go, it looked absolutely relentless, the pressure out there, and in tough conditions. How tough did it feel?
Yeah, it's very tough. It's they're probably one of the best teams in the comp. Obviously, they won the premiership last year, so we knew they were going to bring it. Their mids are elite, so we had to try and match them. And yeah, we thought we matched them in ways, but yeah, we've still got a bit of work to do, but we'll move on to next week now.
You had it tough in there with those windy and rainy conditions. How hard did that make it?
Yeah, I mean, it was raining at the start. I was a little bit worried. Thought it was going to be windy and rainy the whole game, but you know, Adelaide turned it on, which is nice. It ended up being not too bad, so just glad the fans got out on a Friday night when it's nice and windy and rainy, so we're all very happy they were there tonight.
I think it's your first win over a top 4 side, second win over a top 8 side. What does this do for your confidence going into the rest of the season? You're looking like real contenders. I think everyone's pretty excited.
Yeah, no, it's nice to get these wins. We had a bit of pressure from the outside, but we sort of internally we knew our best footy would be beat the best team. So we thought we brought it, probably not for 4 quarters tonight, but when we needed it, we stood up and. Hopefully we can go again next week and beat the Hawks up in Tassie. You guys certainly stood up in that last quarter. What was the message from Nixie at 3-quarter time? It's to come out and kick 5 straight, exceptional. Yeah, absolutely. Like I talked about before, just owning those moments. We had to be clean over the ball. We've got some of the best mids, some of the best backs. So we had to win half the contest, and yeah, we're glad we got that done in the last, which is nice. Is there anyone in particular in your group that really sparks that fire as well? You guys look super connected out there, but is there anyone that really generates that for you? Oh, there's a lot of the boys. You know, our leadership group always leads from the front, but I thought Dan Curtin was absolutely exceptional tonight with his contests. Dawes had moments in the last quarter where, you know, the skipper sort of came out and showed the boys where to go, and then yeah, you know, everyone had their moments, and I thought the backs again was really elite in the last, so very proud of everyone. Doesn't get much easier next week, heading to Tassie to take on Hawthorn. You know, you've just finished the game, but what can you take from this game against Hawthorn? Yeah, you know, they're going to bring it. We saw them last night. They brought the contest, so we've just got to try and get back to that and go again and back it up, and that's going to be the challenge, so hopefully we can be consistent. I think from the outside we get excited, start looking towards the future. Within the 4 walls of your club at the moment, how much are you looking forward? Do you really do the cliche 1 game at a time, or are you looking ahead because of how well you are going? Nah, our mantra's been just week at a time this year, so it's good to just focus in on the next game. Enjoy the win tonight, tomorrow, and then review it on Monday, and then we'll go move on to Hawks on Tuesday, and yeah, hopefully get the win up there. James Peatling started the game really well. Lots of tackles did get reported in there, though. Has there been much chat around that, and how did you see his game? Yeah, I actually don't know. I just heard the umpire reported him, but yeah, hopefully he gets off. But no, he's been great. He's been a great inclusion to the midfield. I thought tonight he was exceptional. His contests, his work rate, and his ability to put his head over the ball, I thought was absolutely elite. So I'm very, very happy with JP's game.
What was as much as you can share, what was the game plan coming into tonight? Was it different to what it would have been if it was a dry game of footy? Did you really change your tactics coming in against Brisbane?
I mean, at the start we preempted it was going to be wet and rainy and windy, but I thought we sort of adjusted to weather pretty good. I can't give too much away, but I thought we were consistent through 4 quarters, and we just got to keep going for next week.
And chat to us about your game. You were really solid out there. How did you rate yourself, and what are you loving about your game? What do you think you need to improve? I feel like it's probably easier as an athlete to say what you need to improve, but how are you rating yourself?
I thought it was strong over the ball. There's a lot of stuff I need to improve on, but I know I can't do it without Dawson. All these boys helping me out in there, so I was just proud of the whole midfield group to get it done tonight, so very happy.
Congratulations on the win. Do you get to celebrate this now, or is it just straight back down to business?
We'll probably celebrate tonight, but we'll all just go home and have a chill, I reckon. But we're back to business on Monday. We have the weekend off, so that'll be nice to just hang out with family. They're over at the moment, so it'll be nice.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on the win. It was epic to watch. Enjoy it.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you there to Jake Celiggo for joining us. As we all saw, it was an epic come-from-behind win. I don't know how many of us were expecting that turnaround from the Crows in these really, really tough conditions here tonight, but we are so lucky with the access we have to these players. We're going to head straight down again to Dan Curtin, one of the stars of tonight. Dan, how did you rate that game? How did it feel out there? It looked really tough from where we were sitting.
I mean, sometimes even sitting back and watching stuff like Dawson's game was crazy good, and watching the game on the wing sometimes was absolutely insane. It was a pretty taxing game, but it was great. It was awesome.
You got some good raps from your mate Jake Celiggo just before. How did you rate your game?
I thought it was good, but I mean, the whole team was a team effort. Like at the end, defensively, we all really stood up, and the backs were huge once again. They've been amazing for us all year.
You look like you're really solidifying your spot on the wing there. How much are you enjoying it and feeling like you're really fitting into that spot?
Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving running around. It's good to be up there and around the ball, and I'm loving getting back and helping the forwards and then helping the defenders. I'm really loving the game at the moment.
Talked about the emotion of this win. Obviously, everyone is very happy about it, coming from behind, beating the reigning premiers. But what does it mean, and what is the feel in the rooms at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, they're the reigning premiers for a reason. They're a great team, and for us to stand up and be able to execute like we did, and especially at the end there, it's huge.
What do you think the difference is with your side this season? From the outside, it looks like your work rate is exceptional, but what do you put it down to?
Yeah, I mean, collectively, work rate, I reckon. Everyone's, we all really trust each other. We're very connected through all the lines, and that's something we really worked on over pre-season and to start the year, and I think that's why, we're able to do what we do.
Is that just a tactical thing, or are you guys doing stuff outside of the game as well to really build that culture, because you guys do look so connected out there?
Yeah, 100%. Like within the 4 walls at the Crows, at West Lakes, we all do it, but then also outside of it, I absolutely love everyone on the team. Everyone loves each other, and we all get around each other, do stuff outside of the club, and we're all just really connected, and especially at the start of pre-season, everyone coming to Carrington Rolton Oval or doing running and stuff, we've all been a really tight group,
Chat to me about coming into a wet weather, windy game like this. Do you still have that same hunger to get out there when it's cold, windy and rainy, or do you get a little bit sketchy?
100%. Like, I mean, when it's rainy, wet and windy, you're definitely ready for it to be a contested game, and we knew that was gonna come at us. But when I run out there for the pre-game warm-up, I do have a little giggle because it's a bit cold, so...
The fans still turned out in droves. We've got plenty of happy people in the rooms at the moment. How great is it to get the support of the fans here in Adelaide? Are you loving your time here? I'm
absolutely loving it, and coming down to the rooms after, everyone cheering us, especially off the ground. I love doing a little winners run around the ground, giving everyone high fives. It's awesome. I'm absolutely loving it.
And you're really solidifying your spot in the top 4 now. You're just 2 points behind Brisbane. How does it feel? Do you feel really confident with your side at the moment? Obviously, you've just beaten the second team, but what is it feeling collectively like in your rooms at the moment?
Yeah, we're all super confident. We're taking it week by week, and we all trust each other. We're connected. Yeah, we're a big family, so yeah, we're really happy.
Moving on, next week it's probably going to be cold and rainy again. You're heading to Tassie against the Hawks. How much of a threat do you see them?
Yeah, they're a really good team, and we'll definitely give them the respect they deserve. But we'll just go about our business during the week and then go to Tassie.
You mentioned Jordan Dawson before. He had an elite last quarter. He's been so exceptional all throughout the season. What has he done with his game, or what inspires you from him as a leader that he's doing at the moment?
Why not talk about the connectiveness of the group before? And he's a solid rock in that. He's really good at connecting with everyone, and then also just watching him out there on the field. Like, it's pretty cool sometimes to sit back and be a bit of a spectator too. Like, watching the hang he took and the goal. He executes under pressure. Yeah, he's awesome. He's great.
That back line in the last quarter got absolutely peppered with the ball. They got absolutely peppered. How did you find it in there? Just the way that they stood up for you.
They're massive. The backline group, they're huge. They're really connected with us wingers, and being able to connect with them and seeing how they communicate with each other. They're really organised. They're all playing their roles. Their detail on the roles is awesome. They're unbelievable at the moment.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on the win. Go and enjoy it and get ready for Tassie next week.
Appreciate it. Thanks heaps.
Now I am joined by Mark Bickley. Bix, what a win from the Crows. What did you make of the game?
Yeah, look, it was a fantastic game, wasn't it? And I guess everyone have been saying Adelaide need to take a scalp. They need to be able to win those close games against quality opposition. And I guess there were some doubts there at three-quarter time, 17 points behind, but to be able to find a way to win. And I know that it got a little bit hairy in that last quarter, Brisbane having the last 4 or 5 shots on goal, but they were able to hold on, defend grimly. But 5 goals to none in the last quarter was just an outstanding effort. And
that is the difference between a premiership side, isn't it? I know early to talk those kind of words, but being able to grind out those wins, it's the difference between the successful sides.
Well, when you think about some of the close losses, the Gold Coast game was a kick, and there was that controversy at the end, but they didn't get the points. And then Collingwood had lots of chances against Collingwood at the MCG, but just didn't take those moments. But tonight, that first 6 minutes, the first goal was Riley Thilthorpe, then Ben Keys gets involved, and then of course the skipper Jordan Dawson, who was involved in the first 2 goals of the game, but then took that amazing mark and went back and kicked the goal. It was just pure, leadership stuff. So that must have made everyone on you could hear the crowd. The crowd just exploded at that stage, and that's when Adelaide hit the front. They went on to kick 2 more goals after that. But just shows that they are developing and growing as a side, and Matthew Nicks would have been wrapped with that.
Did you expect that turnaround at three-quarter time from them? In here, it looked like it was going to be pretty tough. Obviously, the conditions had a lot to do with it, but being able to turn that around.
Well, particularly in a low-scoring game, it was 9 points at quarter time, 8 points at half time, blew out to 17 at three-quarter time, and probably a good man to ask is one of the assistant coaches, Nathan Van Berlo, who joins us. VB, what was the message at three-quarter time, and what was Matthew Nicks saying to his players to generate that response?
Oh, look, we felt like we'd created enough opportunities all night, hadn't quite capitalised on it, and unfortunately we gave away a couple just before three-quarter time. And it was a bit of just keep banging on that damn wall, and we needed a lift really across the board with a bit of energy in our game. So a couple little structural tweaks which worked to our favour for the first 10 minutes, and some of our key players, I thought Geordie Dawson's last quarter was pretty special. A couple of really key moments for us.
Yeah, indeed. And he had been pretty well held by Josh Dunkley, of course, who's just such a super player.
Yep.
But to be able to, I think he only had 12 touches. He had 6 in the last quarter. The first 3 goals, he had involvements in all of those. So just pivotal stuff from your leader.
Yeah, look, and someone needed to stand up, and a multitude of guys did. But yeah, Dawson's a proud leader of ours. He loves leading by example, and for him to do that in the last quarter, it sort of shows in a lot of our younger guys that you don't have to have the best game, but you can have really important moments that can ultimately influence the game. So it was really pleasing the way that he fought through Dunkley's attention. Dunkley's a very special player, the way that he goes about it, because he's offensively a threat for them as well. So, really pleased that he could fight his way through that. there was a number of other guys too that I thought played really important roles.
Yeah, look, I think Ben Keys, you talk about last quarters, he had 2 goals himself. He gave that handball to Joshua Shelley, who ran into an open goal, and his importance to this side. There's 3 goals in a low-scoring game. He plays on Dane Zorko as well, so dictates a little bit what Brisbane are trying to do. Just such a super important player.
Yeah, look, we love Keezy and the way he goes about his role every week, and he's had some pretty important roles the last 2 weeks. Nick Blakey last week, and obviously with Dane Zorko tonight. 2 really pivotal players, and not only does he nullify their impact, he's able to hit the scoreboard and be a real threat for us going the other way. So that's a real credit to Keezy, and I mean, you only have to watch him, from the ground to see how hard he works to get up and back and challenge his opponent. I'm really not sure there's too many guys that work harder than Keezy, and I mean, he came off with a couple of minutes to go and he looked absolutely spent. So yeah, he's going to have to recover pretty well, but he brings himself out every week, and he does his work during the week, and he comes back ready to perform again. So we love him.
Another player that had a great game, we just spoke to, Dan Curtin. How did you rate his performance tonight?
Yeah, look, I'm loving, I think we're all loving seeing DC just grow into his game, and he's played on the wing now for a few weeks, and his ability just to play tall as well as really compete and win or halve at ground level has been so impressive from the day that he walked in the door. And I still don't know where DC's going to end up for us. I mean, because he can play forward, he can play wing. We know he can play behind the ball, and I still think he can play as a midfielder for us too down the track. So, look, we love his versatility, and he's just going to get so much better in the long term, but also short term. He'll just keep developing, and we love him. The group love him, so it's great to see him get some reward for perseverance.
VB, take us inside the box. The last 4 or 5 minutes, there were shots on goal, there were set shots, there were balls touched on the line, there were goal reviews. I know as coaches you meant to stay calm. How was the atmosphere in there?
Oh yeah, no, it was very calm. Bix, you've been in a box before. It was there were some noises let out I hadn't heard before, and a bit of a lot of chat around strategy and what we're going to try and do structurally to when do you go, to try and shut the game down. And we're worried that if we did that, then we wouldn't be able to get it out of our back half. So. We made a couple of calls, and thankfully we dodged a few bullets late. Certainly very stressful in the box, but with I think about it wasn't even until there was 5 seconds to go, I think we could have a sigh of relief and enjoy those last 3 or 4 seconds.
Well, tell us, I know a lot of people from the outside, the media and the supporters say you need to have a scalp. You need to take one of the top 4 sides and have a big win like that. And whilst that is true, it's also really important for the belief of the group to know all the hard work that you are doing about managing those sort of minutes late in games and those moments that you haven't quite been able to manage well enough. To do that tonight is a great sign and a sign of progress that you're making. Yeah,
we do a lot of rehearsal for those sorts of scenarios, and we're hopeful that we can put ourselves in those scenarios against the best teams in the comp. But we've always believed that our best footy can challenge anyone in the comp and beat them. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to do it consistently enough, so that narrative has been there, which is fair. So tonight, as you said, it helps, I guess, correct that narrative to a certain degree. But more importantly, as you said, it builds belief with the group, and I guess just knows that we can come from behind at 3/4 time against a quality opponent. We can not have our best game and still find a way to win. Guys cannot have their best 4 quarters, but can have special moments. So to do that against the reigning premiers, in a pretty tough conditions out there was all works in our favour in terms of belief.
One player that was pretty well held tonight was Isaac Rankin. Where do you like to see him, more in the midfield or the forward?
Oh, I like to see Ranks wherever the ball's going, to be honest, which is an obvious one. But sometimes we make decisions in game around, do we need him ahead of the ball? And if we can get enough supply to him and he's playing forward, there's not too many defenders that can beat him one-on-one. So that's probably the preferred position if we're able to get enough supply. But also in and around the contest, we opted to put him as a midfielder in that 3rd quarter, and I thought he had some important moments where he was able to be clean, get the ball going our way, and I think he had 5 or 6 touches in that quarter, which for a low possession game for us ended up being pretty important. So we do move him around a bit, as we do Geordie Dawson and a few others, but thankfully they love coping with that change and often have the impact that we need.
Well, another change that I thought was pivotal was making the sub, and Jordan Butts was the player who came off, and you brought on Brodie Smith. And just with the conditions, he looked fresh. The fact that he's just a little bit more lively, a little bit more nimble than what Jordan was. I just felt that in that last quarter he was really important. Had 8 touches and was vital with the kick-outs in some of those booming kicks to get it out of that danger area. Yeah, look,
Smithy should be really proud of his season to date. He's played some amazing footy at Sanford level, and he's been knocking on that door. And even when he's had his opportunity at AFL level, he's played, well and truly above the role that we expect of him. So he deserved that chance tonight and came in and played some important minutes for us. And you mentioned the kick-ins, and we just thought at three-quarter time as coaches that we needed to break the game open and try something different without exposing ourselves. So that was the move we opted to make. And looking back now, it was obviously a pleasing move and pleasing result. But we'll go back to the drawing board this week and see what next week looks like for us.
I guess one other bonus again, like last week there was, an even spread of goal kickers. Tonight it was the little guys. It was Keys and Rochelle. We've now got 5 players who have kicked 20 goals or more. To have that ability and the depth of players that can hit the scoreboard is a nice little bonus that's starting to happen. Yeah, we've got some potency ahead of the ball, that's for sure, and we know that if we get enough supply to really any of our talls or our smalls, that they're going to put the opposition teams under pressure. So we've seen, in some games where it's been our bigs that have been the issue for the Oppo, and I still thought they had some really important moments tonight. I mean, Riley, his ability to win some critical contests is so important for us, and Tex and Fogg at various stages had some of those critical contests as well, which bring those guys in at ground level into the game. So Josh Rochelle doesn't need much. I mean, he had a couple of really important moments where he was able to hit the scoreboard, and as well as those other guys you mentioned. So it's really important for us that we get a spread, because then it's really hard for the opposition team to manage.
Turn around to next week, you've got the Hawks in Tassie. How happy are you with how things are sitting at the moment? How much of a threat do you feel like they're going to be for you?
Yeah, look, I mean, Hawthorn at the moment, they look like they found their mojo again last night, and they've played some quality teams in the last 3 or 4 weeks. So, I mean, their form is it's always hard to play those teams up the top end of the ladder, as we saw tonight. But we expect they'll be at a similar spot to where they were last night, playing them in Launceston. Obviously, that's familiar to them. But from memory, I think we play the ground pretty well. But yeah, we're looking forward to it. We enjoy playing against teams that are in and around us or above us. So, took a scalp tonight, last minute, albeit, but we're able to now, refresh and go again next Friday.
Well, we can't wait to watch. Congratulations on the win tonight. Enjoy it.
Thanks, guys. Good to chat.
And Bix, how do you feel like? Do you feel like it is really going to be a test? As you said, the Hawks are getting into their form. If they'd had them a couple of weeks ago, it may have been a little bit easier, but what are your thoughts?
I think every time you play Hawthorn, with what we've seen last year and then even this year, they haven't played their best footy, but they've always been formidable. So, like you said, last night they got their mojo back. They beat one of the informed sides of the competition. But what Adelaide will do, they'll go there with a bit less pressure on themselves. Like, if they had a loss tonight and another close one, everyone would have been saying, you know what, Adelaide, they're just not quite there yet. They can't win those close games. They can't compete against the top 4 or 5 sides. But having done that, it just takes the pressure off. So now they really just focus in on, how do we continue to do the things that we're doing really well? Players can feel good about themselves. They can, enjoy the weekend. Playing on a Friday night, that's one of the bonuses. You play a great game Friday night, you get the weekend off, you get a little bit more time to prepare as well, so your body gets a chance to recover. So this is a really nice week for Adelaide, and they go in again to being one of the matches of the round. And as a player, that's all you want. You want to play on the big stage. You want to prove yourself against against quality opposition. So they've got that opportunity again next week.
Someone I want to ask you about is Jordan Dawson. He gets spoken about a lot, but even more so now as him as a leader. You're obviously a great leader yourself. What are you seeing in him that is helping him take this team to where it needs to go? You've done it. What are you seeing in him?
Look, the thing I love about him, he's an action person. He doesn't talk about it. He's sparing with his words, and he's a very calm and sensible person, but it's what he does on the field. And tonight was a classic case. When someone needed to stand up, he was the one that did it. Through his actions, he gives other people confidence around him, so the game was in the balance. He goes into the midfield in that last quarter and is really important. But when you think about when he came to Adelaide, I don't think anyone could have dreamt that he was going to be this player, the player that he is at the moment. I think he's in the top 3 in the Coaches Award. He's one of the Brownlow favourites. You know, people are talking about him being the All-Australian captain. So for him to do what he's doing is just unbelievable. So Adelaide they've done really well there, and yeah, he just continues. I didn't think it was possible. You know, he's won the best and fairest twice, but he continues to get better. He's having probably his best year that he's ever had this year.
And just seeing the connectiveness that he has brought to the side as well. I think the culture of the club seems like it's in a really great place at the moment as well.
Yeah, and I think you can't underestimate the recruits they brought in this year. You know, Pete Ling coming and also Alex Neil-Bullen. They're all mature players, so they've had, you know, minimum 7 years. Alex Neil-Bullen is a premiership player. He's calm. He oozes leadership as well. Taylor Walker is a leader. Brodie Smith is still in and around the place amongst, you know, many others. So the last 7 years, whilst they've blooded a whole lot of new players, there's just now there's more experience here this year, and certainly an air of confidence that's starting to envelope the group. So there's so many things to be positive about if you're a Crows fan right now.
And I think we can feel it all throughout the ground in this room as well. It's time, I think, that we are getting a little bit excited about the Crows this year. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you everyone here joining us in the room, and if you are streaming on the website as well. It's been brilliant to have your company. Let's all enjoy this Crows win. Good night.
Don't forget, you can join Brodie Smith, Ebony Marinoff and Mark Thomas every Sunday morning on Triple M from 9 a.m. You can also download the podcast on Listening.
Crows fans, get game day ready with the Adelaide Crows official home and clash kits on sale now. Don't miss out. Grab yours today and show your true colours. Available in-store and online at shop.afc.com.au.